Alright, just setting up at the moment. Give me a hot sec. Yeah, give me a hot sec. Whilst I'm doing this, do a little post on Instagram saying what I'm doing as well. Gonna trade it in Minby. Gonna trade it in Minby. Today's stream schedule brackets UK time. This is a post I normally do. Yeah. Normally it's not with this, but yeah. Today's stream schedule UK time, so 7:30 AM. Mixing and mastering, and then (9:30 AM) Oh, okay. Looks like it's just a 4 PM thing. Preparing and talking about intro to circus EP. Preparing and releasing is more engaging to hear about. That, and 4 PM leafleting. Okay. This 4 PM leafleting, what the fuck? 4 PM song writing. Okay. Jump in the line. Everybody's dying. Okay. I believe you'll jump in the line. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. And it's up there. Great. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so are we doing this until 9-ish, I guess? We'll do it for an hour, so I'll be here until 8:30. Oh, I've got to do laundry as well. Yeah, 8:30 is good because I need to have breakfast. Okay, let's go. Alright, so this is the... Sorry for the delay here. This is the song in total.
Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. It's called Sauerkraut. Remember that. It's the one that goes... It goes... Right, remember that. Sauerkraut. That's the name of the song. Yeah, Sauerkraut.
I don't like that. That was a suggestion, I think, from Muzu to do that. And it's going to be actual vocals, me saying sauerkraut. You know, it would be replaced, right? This is just taken from when I was speaking here. But the problem is that there is some really unique sounds here. Have a listen. That's going to be not heard if I say sauerkraut over it. That's the problem with that.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial.
Gotcha. All right, cool, cool song. And this is actually, to be honest with you, this is one that I'm still quite proud of, which is relatively rare. Now, the EQ of this is very bass heavy, I think, which might... Oh, Fletcher Munson, very cool. Oh, this is literally without, with. Cool. But this is like the inverse, the opposite of what our ears perceive in sound, interestingly enough. So if I, the whole thing. And without. So if this was perfectly mastered and then I had this on here, it would sound more flat to our ears. Yeah, because this is how our ears perceive frequencies, but it's actually the opposite of this. This is just doing the... Right, so here it's boosted. In actuality, our ears would hear a ducking here. Here it's ducked. In actuality, our ears would hear a little boost at 630 hertz or 620 hertz. These two are heavily ducked, but in actuality, our ears perceive this 2 to 3K range very precisely, very loud. That's why babies cry in this range, and police sirens are in this range, because this is something that our ears are tuned to, those sort of frequencies. Anyway, let's get rid of that shit. And yeah, you can just see that this is very low orientated. And arguably too much sub bass, but we can remove that. Who cares? Clearly I care, but I can remove that right now. Look at that, 150, buddy. Yeah, that's too much mud. And with, without, with. It's definitely necessary. Because we've already got a sub here. A sub that is crunching. Good God. Yeah, jeez, chill out. This try hard sub over here. Oh, there's over 1. All right, but that's okay. We're going to bring everything down, and everything will work out. Before we do, these vocals need some cleaning up.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so...
Because it sounds trash.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut.
I think I recorded that literally just with the laptop microphone, and that's why it's so trash. It could be the reason. Okay, so we are going to go into motherfucking plugins, and there is some really great plugins that I can't remember the name of. So we're going to slowly go through all of our plugins. Waves Silk Vocal. I don't know if it's live or not live, I don't know. And we're just going to go for the preset of Raw to Pro Male. Just male. We don't need gain match. And let's try it again, but with gain match. Just so that we can compare. It's very good to compare. We're going to turn this off so that's a little clearer for us to hear it all. We'll loop this, make sure that we can hear it nice and easily, and we'll listen to the first one first.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram.
Okay, and this one.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to...
Too quiet, so we'll leave this one on. We can see this, the gain, we've not got anything on there. It sounds like there's reverb on here. I mean...
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram.
How is there reverb if this is turned off? Is there just actual reverb on this? There's clearly reverb on this, but all the plugins are off. Man. Let's take that away. Doesn't make sense. There's no sends here either. It's not like... Unless... reverb on the group. Okay, so... This sounds good.
Actually, I've realized I don't...
Compared to this?
Actually, I've realized I don't...
With?
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut.
True, and then perfect vocals.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called...
Too much drive?
Follow Me on Instagram.
Too much compression?
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram.
We'll put that before it.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. Yeah.
It's cool. That's good.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial.
No. Over here, smoother. This has got sub bass involved. And let's check this one, make sure that, yeah, this one's cut at the sub bass. Let's hear what that sounds like. Fucking awesome, by the way. And so because of that, I want to do surgical EQ. I want to make sure there is no low end at all in this. Now, after a phaser, after a saturator, which doesn't even have DC offset, there might even be some low end. In fact, we can test this out by coming over here and watching. Yeah, there's no sub bass there at all. So that's all good. All right, fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted to see. I think that might be the only fix I needed.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called.
Hey, what the fuck? Where'd the smooth thing go? Hey, what? Hey, yo, what the fuck? Alright, I guess we just get it out again. Weird. Raw to Pro. It's a good preset, and it is a really fucking powerful plugin. We just put that behind it, and it was there the whole time. It just needed scrolling. Who does that? Okay, whatever.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called...
Without?
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called... follow me on Instagram, @LimLamOfficial.
It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm happy with that. All right, so let's... In fact, I'm happy with all of it. There is something that I want to test out, and it's these hi-hats. The cymbals are fine. Cymbals are fun. These hi-hats. Because they barely exist. They're only happening when there's a kick and a snare. Kick, and it's infinite threshold, infinite ratio, so it's completely silent here. But we can hear the delays. But yeah, kick, kick, snare, silence, kick, kick, snare, silence, kick, kick, snare, silence, kick, kick, and then there's this, where there's no ducking there because it's the trigger that's making it go completely silent, so we just get this sound. That's really all we're working with, just that. Is there processing on this whole thing? There is, because I was wondering why it's so quiet. That's going to make it a little more unenjoyable to work with, but we can do this. We can work with this.
Yeah, wow.
That's a good plugin. All right, that's a good stretch. I mean, fucking hell. All right, so we are going to go to Pink Noise. Lovely. And we've got this audio one. Let's hear what that sounds like.
Call me a pretender, city ender, like bruh, you're just asking for it. Maybe it's just an illusion, real intrusion, but I swear that's not accurate.
Yeah, it's a little cool concept.
Okay, I don't know the lyrics. We're just kind of making it up at this point, yeah. Dun, dun. Call me a pretender, city ender, like bruh, you're just asking for it.
It's cool lyrics, to be honest. And it's gone forever. We will never ever see it again. Thought of it in the shower. So we're going to bring this down to -5. Let's have a listen. It might be a bit loud. Apologies for that.
Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut.
We're going to have it at 0 instead. All right, so we're going to start with the motherfucking kick. And here's a good place to start. The reason it's a good place to start is because we could just turn off duck, and we've got all the drums happening at the same time, so we can really compare it nice and easily. And we're going to sort the ratio out first, and then we're just going to change the entirety of the drums section. I'm hoping that these little sections are the right volume. That's the little drum roll sort of thing. Right. That I'm hoping they're the right volume in relation to everything else on that same track. There's no processing on the kick or the snare, interestingly enough. But I think the drums are actually really well done. So there is one thing that I noticed, and that's the cymbals. They've got slight compression. Infinite ratio, so it's pretty much limiting at 5 decibels down whenever there's a kick in the snare. And then it comes back up again literally as soon as the kick in the snare is done. And it's very, very high cut, as you can see over here. Very, 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 very low cut even, so it's just the highs peeking through. And the width is ridiculous. I've never seen that before. That's so weird. All right, which is fine, but it just feels very quiet. And so let's do it in context. And the problem is I'm going to have all of these playing at the same time. There is no two ways about it. I will have to have all of these playing at the same time because of this drum bus that we've got on. And I would presume that drum bus turns off in these little sections here. But let's check. Yeah, it does. Good. Otherwise, those hi-hats would be way out of control. So let's get started. We're going to be listening to the whole thing together. And word on the street is that TDR Nova can do this thing. Right now, I'm using Pink Noise to visually see the curve that we want. Right, we want that. We want that out of our shit. Right, and I'm hoping that I can get an analyzer that has that line built in. Right now, it's just got this line right in the middle, which is, I guess, okay. I want that line go across the whole thing. That would be really helpful for me. But we don't have that as of yet. We could try one time EQing to this white line here in the middle, or grey line rather, in the middle, and that would be white noise, which could be cool at some point. But we don't need to do that just yet. So we'll bring this down. So that's the kick right here. Kick, snare. Kick, snare. Bring this down. So right now we can see the kick is slightly protruding. That's what we want. The snare's slightly protruding, perhaps too much. Still too much. Maybe about there. It's not easy because of the drum bus squisher making just everything so fucking squished, but it is what it is. And then we've got the motherfucking hi-hats, which barely exist. I really mean it. They only really exist at the end here. This one. So we've got it there. This fuzz is from the snare. So we can bring that down a bit. There, which is ridiculous, but because we've got that thing on the group, it might sound okay. And this hi-hat, we can see the little peaks here, so we're going to bring that down. Bring it down. About there is fine. And we're going to need to do it again for over here, so we'll probably do some sort of automation for that. And now we're going to check out these cymbals. We'll check out these cymbals over here where it's at its absolute peak. So you can see the peaks coming out over here. That's what we're working with, and we're bringing it down. So I think that's the actual Pink Noise making that sound. It is. I need to get new Pink Noise, man. This Pink Noise sucks. That's a little clearer. Okay, so we need to get these cymbals louder. There we go, and we can see them now and hear them. Cool, that's where I'm looking to have them. Let's hear it in context. Hopefully the snare's not too weak. This one is really nice, this kick, but the rest are a bit perhaps too powerful. Let's work with bringing that kick down a bit, just to where it's manageable. Interestingly enough, it doesn't have a peak at 100 Hz, which normally kicks do. This one's just like a slope upwards to around here. But yeah, very interesting. We could put a punchiness here if we wanted to. That might be okay. If that's the case, we need to bring this down. Increase release. Check the levels. I think these cymbals might be too loud now. That's the problem with this, man, with a group. I think it's okay, to be honest. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. Or rather, I'm happy to move on from that. And let's get into the motherfucking duck-in. Oh, actually, no. Before we do that, we need to check these hi-hats out. Good God, they're quiet. Ah, yes, because the plugin is off. So I'm going to open up automation here. We're going to click that. We're going to bring this up. Very quiet. And we're going to get this on. We can see the little peaks here. That's what we're working with here. Now, every time I do this, it closes it. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to control it from over here. Hang on, is there automation on this? No, there isn't. Okay, so yeah. Bring that down. I'm happy to have it around there, 0.9, which seems quite loud. Maybe it is, who cares? Not me. So we've got automation turned back on, we're going to do that, and then we're going to drag this down to 0.9, 0.3, 1 decibel, fuck it, that's fine. Okay, for my intent and purpose, 1 decibel is fine. We can always readjust later on. Okay, sauerkraut. Vocals. That means nothing else is on. Okay, we've got that. That's country beef. Sure. Yep. Okay, we turn all of this off. We'll open everything except for the things that is already off so that we know to not turn it on. Okay. Okay. So we can hear the vocals now.
It's called sauerkraut, remember that. It's the
And
one
every time I say S, it's peaking up here.
right, remember that. Yo,
And the peak is over here.
this song is called sauerkraut.
So that's what we're working with, and we're going to bring the volume down appropriately.
This song is called sauerkraut.
So it's in line. See, we can see a little bit of peaking over here. That's from the S in sauerkraut and S from song. But that's okay. We don't need to go absolutely crazy with it. The reason being, vocals we want to pierce through the mix a little bit anyway, and that's okay. So we've got utility on it, width and reverb wetness is on that group, and on the duck we've got motherfucking K-clip 0, which we shouldn't have. I'm going to turn that off because we're going to be putting that on after, if we're going to be putting it on at all. So just to double check now, I'm going to check these vocals again without the K-clip, without the clipper limiter. You can see it's way too quiet now.
This song is called sauerkraut.
Now bring it down. Yeah, about there works. And let's work over here. So this peak here is from this, and we can see it very clearly here. So we're going to bring that down until it's in line. About there. We want to make sure that that one is in line because generally speaking we want the synths in line, whereas the vocals and the drums can peak out a little bit because they want to be more powerful in the mix anyway. Next up we've got this, very bassy, very smooth. Yeah, it's quite good. We can see the sub bass moving around here, that's what we're looking at, and we'll move that down. There we go, about there, and just become more of a feeling rather than anything else. So let's have a listen to this. Little crunchy. Okay? With arguably too much sub-bass information in there. So we're going to just throw on a 150 bass cut. That's fine. Cool, that is fine. Okay, and back in context. We can see little movements over here. Now this one, because it's quite a spectrum filling sound, we're gonna be a little more harsh with it. Yeah, because if we bring it into line, it'll stick out throughout the mix quite well because it covers quite decent frequencies in a really well balanced way, but other things don't. So yeah, we're going to need to bring it down a little more than the line says. And we can tell by how we can hear it so clearly. See, apparently, just about there is fine. Let's have a listen.
Yo, this song is called sauerkraut.
And it's way too loud, yeah? Way too loud in comparison with everything else. So that's something that we should really be fixing at a later time, outside of pink noise, so we can actually do that right now. So I'm going to turn up my volume. I'm not going to turn up yours just yet, and I'm going to adjust the FX sound.
Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. It's called Sauerkraut. Remember that. It's the one that goes. It goes. Right. Remember that Sauerkraut. That's the name of the song. Yeah.
See, I want it to be a feeling, a texture, rather than a sound that is taking attention.
Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. It's
About there is fine. We could do a little
This
less.
song is called Sauerkraut. It's Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. It's called Sauerkraut. Remember that.
Cool, there we go. Awesome. Okay, so next up we're going to move on to this. We're going to loop a little more small, and this is the sound we're going to be working with. Awesome. Let me just collapse this intro section because we're done with it now. Very powerful, very loud, very unique, very fun. Let's get the pink noise on. Sorry about that. Let's get the pink noise on. Reduce volume. And we can see the frequencies that we're working with is mainly going to be around the 100 hertz section because it's not very well balanced. If it was very well balanced, then it would look like pink noise, but it's not very well balanced. It is what it is. It's given it a unique character at least. Okay, so we're going to reduce that volume now. We can see the peaks coming up here very clearly, and the high end is slightly peaking up there, but it's not much. Going lower, 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 about there. Absolute pushing its limit right there. This is the absolute loudest we can get it comfortably. You can have a listen to this section as well. Okay. All right, cool. And now next up, we've got this section, which is quite a nice sound. But maybe we do it over here because it's got a little more to it over here. I'm going to loop it from here just so we get more of it. Actually, let's loop it here so we've got a little bit of the crunchy bit for context. Yeah, and let's get to it. We can see it's peaking over here mainly, and that's confirmed by this. Yeah, so we're just going to bring that down. Perfect. So that's good, that's good. Now we're going to move on to the ah! And the good thing about the ah is that if we look at the frequency spectrum for it, it's mainly high end, which allows it to pierce through the mix quite nicely. So even though we're going to be bringing the volume quite low down, it'll pierce through the mix really nicely. So you can see it here, 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 here. All of this, and that bit is from this crunchier section, which we can probably just reduce down the smidgen. Nope, it's not from that. So we're not going to touch that. It is from that. It's that in addition to the pink noise, which has already got little peaks around that area for some reason. Anyway, let's not worry about that then. Let's just deal with that and we bring it down, 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 to about there. Bang, just like that. What? And you can see it's minus 36.6. That's very, very, very quiet. But if you listen, it sticks out through the mix even with pink noise. You can hear it quite clearly. And we can always test this by turning off the pink noise and playing it from about here. You can hear that nicely. Very good. Next up, we've got the right, and I think that's in the second drop. There it is. And have a look. This plays on its own. There's no drums here. There's literally nothing else playing. We get a little bit of this. We get a little bit of this playing, which is this. Very nice sound. And this is literally, it's on its own. There's nothing else. There's no group that it's in. It's in the duck group with everything else just ducking underneath the kick and snare. So we can have quite a little bit of fun with this. And we're okay with having some low end in this, and there will be some low end in this. Because that's just how it works, right? See, we've got all that low end information. We need to cut it out when it gets here. That's all that we really need to do. You can see it plays on a little bit, so we could just toggle this on and off. It might be cleaner actually to adjust the frequency like that. So we're going to have it like that, and bam. That's it. That's it. That's it. Come on, C. Come on, V. Come on, V. Come on, V. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Paste. And that's it. That's truly it. And for this last part, we can have that bass going because that's the last fucking sound. Right? But it's much too loud, although it can be quite loud in the mix. It's allowed to be. The reason it's allowed to be is because there's nothing else that it is competing with in the mix. We could have it quieter, we could have it louder. It might be beneficial to have it perhaps on the quieter side, because when we're doing the mastering, we're going to be bringing everything up, including this, and we don't want this to get distorted. Though, if you listen, by the way that it's structured, it can deal with a little bit of distortion and still sound quite nice. So we can think about that and not need to worry about that too much. So there's just going to be pink noise and the going at the same time. So this is the frequency for the We got information here, we got information here, we got information here. And in the pink noise, apologies, and with the pink noise, we can see a little peak here, a little peak there. That's what we're going to be working with. That's all we've got to work with. If I turn it all the way up, you can see it a little more clearly. That's the information we're working with, and then we're going to bring it down. Just about there. That's the absolute lowest I can go, you know. And we, like I said, we don't need to go that low for this one. And in context, it's going to be very quiet. I'm sorry. In context. No, it's fine. It's fine. It does the job. Next up, we've got the motherfucking sub bass. Ooh, yeah. You see here, I've done little gaps here. That's where the kick is. The kick's there. And then here is another kick. And then there's a snare. And it's a kick, and a snare, and a snare. So you can see this is where the snare is. I'm leaving gaps. There's no gap here. There is no drum there. We know there's no drum there because there's no trigger there. The trigger is only happening when there's a kick and a snare. We've got a snare, which is doing that big thing, which we don't really need to. And we've got the kick, which is doing that big thing, which again, we don't really need to. We could have this about here, to be honest, maybe about here, you know. But we've got it absolutely thick as shit, and who cares? It sounds good. That's fine. So we're going to find a place where there's some sub bass. I mean, there's sub bass here, whatever. Loop it, bring it over here, get the pink noise going, and you'll be able to hear the sub is probably going to pierce through the mix compared to everything else. Yeah, you can see it very clearly, very clearly, and we're going to bring that down. About there. Cool, because we don't want that sub bass pushing through the mix too much at all. It's very, very important it doesn't. Okay. Next up, we've got whack sounds, which is this crunchy sound. And normally I'd look for the loudest part, but we've got a compressor on here making everything almost the same volume. But we can see here, over here, we've got some frequencies that are peaking around this area. And so that's what we're going to be working with because that's the easiest to work with. And no low information, or sub information rather, which is very, very nice. So I'm going to turn it all the way up. We can see it very clearly. Like I said, it's the same thing as the previous one where it's covering quite a lot of the spectrum, and so we want to be a little aggressive with the volume reduction. Because in technicality, it could fit in the mix right here. But if we leave it there, it's going to be way too loud. So I think we're actually done with the pink noise now because the next one is also noise. So let's have a listen to this in context, and you might think, hey, it's too quiet, I can't hear it. I'm going to turn your volume up. I'm going to let it play and then turn your volume up so it's at a good volume. Okay, I think that's a good volume for you. And I'm going to start it over here so we can hear it without the gore, without the whack sounds. It says gorefish, and then we'll hear it with the gorefish and we can compare. We can turn that up. Let's loop that. Let's try it over here. Too high. Without. With. It adds nice extra texture to that. And let's have a listen to this noise on its own. It's just a standard noise sweep down, it looks like. And sounds like. No matter where you play it from, it starts from the beginning, which is a bit of a shame. It's something that can be worked on in Ableton, I think. By Ableton, rather. We can work on it ourselves by freezing it and bouncing it in place, but whatever.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut,
So that noise is too loud, and we're going to listen to it and bring it down.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram. Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead
Really quite empty at the end here.
Actually, I've realised I don't know.
Okay, let's open up automation. We're going to, whoopsie, we're going to do a little bit of this.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to. Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut.
And maybe we take this and we duplicate and we reverse and probably reduce the volume as well.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how.
Cool. One thing that would be also quite cool to have is if I were to go like that and do in of sauerkraut vocals or vox and then quickly record that.
Actually, I've realized I don't.
Cool. And you see how flat that is, really crazy compression on that. So we're going to just take that actually and take literally just the very first bit of it, and I'm going to drown it with reverb and delay. So this is it. That's a lot of delay, more reverb, increased decay, remove the compression. Change the size. And put the reverb before the delay. Try that. Without delay. Cool. And we're going to freeze it. And we're going to flatten it. And I'm going to go like that, I'm going to go like that, I'm going to take that, I'm going to bring this over here, we're going to reverse it, and bring that back a little more, unsolo it, and have a listen. And so that should actually go there. We're going to do a little bit of that, and bring it over here as soon as that snare hits.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how.
And it might be cool if we have a little wobble right there.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut. Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut.
Nope. Doesn't sound good, so we can just remove it. Could be cool to have this there. Let's give it a go.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell Actually, I've realized I don't know.
Yeah, it's smooth, it's not exciting, but it's fine.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song...
Put this here instead. Let's see what happens.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut.
That's much smoother, that's much better.
The song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. Yeah.
That's very nice. But I think that's on an LFO, unfortunately. Very, very nice. Yeah, let's put that on envelope so that it will increase the release a little bit. Right, so that means that at the end here it will just keep going.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. Yeah.
I think we're done. Let's have a listen to the full thing one more time.
Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. It's called Sauerkraut. Remember that. It's the one that goes. It goes. Right? Remember that. Sauerkraut. That's the name of the song. Yeah, Sauerkraut.
Okay, with that in mind, let's get that clip limit on here. And we're just going to reduce the volume as a result. This limiter is at -5 decibels. Sure. And this clipper is at... Why? All right, that's nice. That's fine. We don't need this limiter limiting at -5 because we're just going to reduce the volume. That's the volume that we're looking for.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at limlamofficial. That's what the...
So we've got -10 and yet 8.7. So that means that we've reduced the whole thing down by 5 decibels, but increased it by 8.7 decibels. So we're perceiving an increase of 3.7 decibels without actually changing the volumes, which is nice.
It's going to be cool. Follow me on Instagram at limlamofficial. Yeah.
Uh, 5.5. So this is we'll compare before and after. Before and after. Exact same volume. Yeah, it's just it's nicer. It's more powerful. Is it the exact same volume though? This would assume that we're reaching the exact peak, but this just forces it to reach the exact peak. The only way we could prove it is by putting this limiter here, which doesn't even tell us when we're actually reaching the limit. So let's get a limiter that does tell us when we're reaching the limit, such as this limiter. And the ceiling is 0. So no gain reduction, no gain reduction. A little more. Okay, yeah, okay, so, okay. So, this compared to this, essentially. And then there's this. Alright, yeah, so, in total, we don't fucking need it. Okay, I'm glad we did that. Yeah, I'm glad we did that. There is so little information here. Do you remember when I was talking about how right here is where we've got the most sensitive for hearing? There's fucking nothing here. Right here. That's nuts. I mean, from here to here is really where we want the information. That's where the snare is hitting, fine. But it's crazy. Very interesting. Yeah, but I'm okay with this. The reason I'm okay with this is because, in theory, if it's like super quiet, it makes people want to turn the volume up a bit more. It's just got a lot of low information there, which is nice. And it's got a little bit of wiggliness at the top end. That's it. It's just a little bit of wiggliness. Alright, we'll do the mastering at a later time. Maybe tomorrow. But not today. We're done for the stream for now. Thank you very much for coming down. Let's just call that, let's just over here, let's put that as orange so that we don't forget it. And now we can just go ahead and take this and close it. All right, look, it's been an